Good afternoon, Wealth Our Way Nation, the family. I'm just so happy to be here today. My name is Charles Tank Harris, and I'm the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. Today is Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. I got to let y'all in a little secret because I know this camera follows my eyes. Every day, I have no idea what day it is, and I got to glance down to see what day it is. But today is Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. I'm so happy to have you guys here with me. I want to thank each and every one of you who are watching this live on either Facebook on our Wealth Our Way page or on YouTube. And special salute and shout out to the Wealth Our Way family that catches this pre-recorded overnight, over the weekend, or wherever they can squeeze their 15 minutes of financial literacy in. Man, let's talk about for a hot second Kalima White yesterday, just giving us love on all of these estate planning nuggets. And yes, she will be back. She's TU family. She will come back later on. We're going to schedule her again sometime in the third or fourth quarter. And then I want to shout out my guy, Chad Copeland, who was on Friday to discuss cryptocurrency. We've taken that offline and had a deep conversation to the point where I'm going to do a cryptocurrency webinar workshop in the third quarter. It's going to be bananas. We're going to give away a couple of cryptocurrency wallets that have accounts, thousands of dollars or more, to help people get started. Because you know, with Wealth Our Way, I'm all about the community. I'm all about growing wealth. It's going to be an informational session. You guys will have an opportunity to get involved. So let's talk about this week, what we're getting popping. I am an informational conduit. Information flows through me, whether it's the information I have or the information of special guests like Kalima and Chad. I have made a connection that I have been trying to make since I started Wealth Our Way. And I'm always smiling, so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm smiling ear to ear about it, but I am, because it's so dope. I'm going to be bringing on this week Dr. Genevieve Green. I'm going to show you her bio shortly. She has a company called Degrees of Success. She is a student loan management expert. Me and this young lady, we spoke on the phone last night for about 55 minutes. She liked to talk. I like to talk. I don't know how we're going to contain it to 15 minutes of finance, but I'm going to have her on tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. And I want to spend today talking about what those 3 days are going to look like, the format. I want to give you some information on who Dr. Green is, and just to basically solicit from you guys, my core audience, what it is we need to hammer down on, because there's so much information to unpack. She was even telling me, so I know all about, I don't have any student loans, praise God. I was blessed. When I got out of school, someone paid my student loans off. Like, it was crazy. And I was very fortunate and very blessed to have that happen. But my spouse has almost $250,000 in student loans. She has 4 degrees and she's in a doctorate program right now. So I fully understand student loans and the gravity of them, the weight and the overall overarching financial stress that heavy student loans can put on a household. There's so much talk around student loan debt right now. One of the reasons I pursued Dr. Green was because right now the Biden administration has been talking about this concept of student loan debt forgiveness. So there's some key things that people need to understand about that process. She was just dropping, I hope you guys sponge up the information that I give here. I know so much of what I talk about and what I bring people on that I don't get a chance to learn a lot when I'm doing these segments. Last night, I was learning. I was pen and padding the whole conversation. She broke down so many things for me that I never knew existed, and how the system, we always talk about how the system is set up against us, how the system is set up against us, like the purposeful lies and deceptions that we are told when we're trying to do the right thing, when we're calling for forgiveness, calling for consolidation, calling for information, and people are taking advantage of our naivete and lack of knowledge and directing us into things that make it even worse than before we picked up the phone. She schooled me to all of that. And I'm going to bring that education to you guys and hopefully have a long-standing partnership with this brilliant, brilliant woman. So we're going to do 2 segments tomorrow and Thursday. And during those segments, I'm going to let her go. I'm just going to let her do her thing. And as a result, we won't take any questions like while we're talking. But I want you guys to stack the chat up with questions that on Friday will be a 100% Q&A. We will take the questions that came in the chats on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the live questions that you guys are asking. So we think that'll take at least 15 minutes. But what we want to do is make sure that all of the information that she has to give out is given out over Wednesday and Thursday. So with no further ado, I'm going to screen share. You guys know how I love my screen share. I'm going to screen share the about page of her website. So I'm also going to put down in the chat what her website address is. And so you guys can, be good students and go ahead of time and look up what she's bringing to the table, who she is, find out her bio, all of these things. So one of the other things, so I just posted that. One of the other things I want to ask you, because I am in business to promote financial literacy, and it doesn't matter what I think is a good idea. It matters what you guys as the audience think are a good idea. And it also matters the format under which you are receiving it and how it soaks in. So my team takes a look at all of the information, all of the metrics, all of the analytics behind these different broadcasts that we do here. And they tell me which ones have the higher viewership, which one has the higher engagement, which one has the higher reach. And by far, Kalima's program yesterday was through the roof. It was probably the most engaging and well-attended and well-viewed program that we ever had. So that's why I'm definitely going to bring her back. I know you guys got a lot from that segment. Chad's was pretty high as well. But what I did was I went back and I looked at the different programs that I had a guest on, and they all engaged much better than when it's just me. Now, don't get me wrong. I took that on the chin. I was like, they don't just like Big Tank. They like Big Tank +1. That's fine. I can handle that. You can't be the center of attention all the time. Y'all just truly kicked me back down to my childhood and made me suffer middle child syndrome. But I'm good with that. I can live with that. I want to give you guys what you are looking for. And if you're looking for having someone like me host someone else bringing knowledge, I'm all for that, because I don't know everything. I tell you guys almost every segment, go to Google and double check what I'm telling you. Make sure that I know what I'm saying is accurate and correct, but there's an expansive knowledge base out there. And I always implore you guys to go out, get the information, come back, ask me the questions. I'll interpret it for you. So with that being said, I think I'm going to make a stronger effort. It's going to take some more planning on my part to bring in special guests, if not every program, at least weekly, hopefully for multiple days of the week. It's going to take some production effort on our part to make sure we're reaching out to people, getting them in, making sure their schedules match up. But that's what we're going to expand the program into, because that seems to be more helpful. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat if you agree with that. With that being said, let's talk about Dr. Genevieve Dobson. Now, you just heard me refer to her as Dr. Genevieve Green. She, of course, as all of us seem to do at some point in our life, get married, don't get married. So I met her on the phone yesterday, but I've been talking to her online for the last week and a half. And I'm not sure if Dobson or Green is her marital name. She will explain that to me when she comes on tomorrow. But on her website, it says Genevieve Dobson. So we'll go with that. I know her as Dr. Green. With that being said, Degrees of Success is not only a debt management company for student loan debt, it's an overall credit repair and credit improvement entity. But here's what I found to be incredibly, incredibly exciting when I talked to her yesterday. You heard me say just recently when we were talking about estate planning that an ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure. My grandmother used to tell me that. That basically means it's a lot easier and a lot less is required if you don't get into trouble in the first place. If you plan better, there's a lot less that needs to be done to get you out of the mess that you got into because you didn't plan. One of the things about Degrees of Success that was very exciting to me is they help new and future college students plan their education funding moving forward. So in maximizing what aid they can get, understanding the consequences of the debt they may sign up for, filling out their FAFSA form correctly. I specialize in financial planning, and an element of our financial planning is educational planning. So I have tools that are available to me to do education planning and help people budget. But I'll be honest with you, which I'm always am on this program. A lot of these different words in financial services are designed to just make people feel more comfortable. At the end of the day, my job is to grow people's net worth. I tell you that all the time. I grow people's net worth by increasing their assets and lowering their liabilities. It doesn't matter why I'm increasing your assets. If I'm increasing your assets so you can send someone to college, cool. If I'm increasing your assets so you can retire, cool. If I'm increasing your assets so you can buy a vacation home, cool. So a lot of times we'll be clever and say, oh, this is retirement planning, or this is education planning, or this is wealth management planning. The reality is, it's just a different segment of the same thing. I want to grow your assets. I want to minimize your expenses so that overall I increase your net worth. It's my job to quarterback the process and to make sure we are earmarking certain funding for certain times in your life when it's needed. The fact that she has a program in place that will allow us not to get in trouble in the first place, I love it. When my kids started to get to college age, I moved from, this is the type of dude I am. And you guys know this from me telling you I'm moving from New Jersey to Puerto Rico. I lead by example. I'm a man of action. When I see something that works, I jump into it. I just go. So I moved from New Jersey to Atlanta in 2008. The primary reason that I did that was because they had the Hope Scholarship, which was going to take 80% of the college costs off my plate. Because as a financial advisor working so hard for other people, I didn't do a lot of planning for Big Tank and his family. So I corrected that in one foul swoop, one move. I moved to Georgia. The housing market was great. I got a lot more house for the money I was spending in New Jersey. But my primary reason was to make up for the $1 million I hadn't saved in college planning because I was too busy working and spending and doing other things. I tell you guys, I share my mistakes with you and I share the actions that I take to correct them. Now, you guys have heard me talk about getting this boat at age 60. Well, hey, I'm 51 years old in a month from today, June 4th. From 2001 to, 2021 to 2031, I will not be paying any more U.S. federal taxes because of the treaty with Puerto Rico when I moved there. And guess what? That $120,000, $150,000 a year of taxes that I will not be paying, that can, half of that, a third of that, 40% of that can go into my yacht fund. So at 60, when y'all come down to Puerto Rico and have my 60th birthday party with me on the yacht, you will see I may name my boat No Taxes. I don't even know yet. I got a bunch of names in my mind. So I take action that's going to make these plans happen. It's not enough to talk about it. You have to be about it. When we look at Dr. Dobson, we can see all of her credentials. She has a undergrad and master's degree and a doctorate from the University of South Florida. She was actually born in Philly, which is cool because I'm a Philly guy. And she spent a lot of her time, her upbringing in the Harrisburg area. When I tell you this woman, she is passionate about student loan debt reduction. She'll tell you the difference between the federals and the private loans, the consolidation, forgiveness, all of these programs. We'll talk about Biden's plans, whether it's going to be 10,000 or 50,000, whether there's tax implications or not. You cannot afford to miss, well, you definitely can't afford it because it's free, but you cannot afford to miss these next 3 days of 15 Minutes of Finance when we bring on Dr. Jen Green to talk about student loans. So I hope you guys are all ready for the next 3 days. We will be live and direct Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Remember, put your questions in the chat. on Wednesday and Thursday, and then it's a no holds barred live questioning on Friday. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. My name is Charles Tank Harris from Wealth Our Way, and remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy. Have the best day and see you tomorrow.